What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of a Ferrell podcast. Today, we are just going to be going over some current sports stuff that's going on. And towards the end, we'll get into little thoughts, maybe some discussion. I don't know. I don't know what discussions can be had, but, just sharing my thoughts or opinions as always. And then, talk a little bit about, um, you know, what are you cooking with and how that affects your health. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So just bear with me. All right. So starting off, we're going to start with current MLB scores. So for today, as of right now, Diamondbacks and Braves. Braves are leading the Diamondbacks 7-3. Royals and Cardinals. Royals are currently leading the Cardinals 1-0. Later on today, the Tigers and White Sox play, the Phillies and Blue Jays play, Twins Athletics play, Orioles Mariners play, Padres Giants play, Mets and Dodgers play, Astros and Pirates, Cubs and Nationals, Guardians and Yankees, Rangers and Rays, and then the Royals and Cardinals look like they play again later on today, so it looks like there's a doubleheader going on. All right, so it looks like these teams played earlier this week as well, so I'm going to just go off of their scores from yesterday. So the the Cubs lost to the Nationals 2-0. Guardians beat the Yankees 4-0. Blue Jays beat the Phillies 2-1. Diamondbacks beat the Braves 2-1. Rangers lost to the Rays 5-4. Tigers beat the White Sox 5-4. Orioles beat the Mariners 3-2. Giants beat the Padres 6-5. Mets beat the Dodgers 6-1. Did I miss anybody? Let me know if I missed anybody. Oh, Pirates and Astros. Astros lost to the Pirates 3-0. And Twins and Athletics. Twins beat the Athletics 6-1. Let me know what you think of the Twins' new logo that they wear on their helmet down in the comments. I kind of like it, but you can't beat the old TC. All right, so my opinion is a little bit on the Tigers and White Sox. I think I'm gonna go with the Tigers in this one, just because I've always thought they were a decent club. Blue Jays and Phillies. I want to see the Phillies win just because the Blue Jays are in the conference with the Red Sox, but I think the Blue Jays will probably eke out a win. Twins and Athletics. I think the Twins will. I think the Twins will win again. Orioles and Mariners. Same thing. I would love to see the Mariners beat the Orioles just because the Orioles are in the same conference with the Red Sox, but that may not happen. We'll see. Giants and Padres. I can care less. Mets and Dodgers. I would love to see the Mets beat the Dodgers. I feel like the Dodgers are kind of like the. I feel like the Dodgers have, over the years, tried to make this superstar team kind of like, in the NBA where they try to get all the best players. And I guess there's a trend in the NFL going on like that too, or there has been. But I feel like the Dodgers in baseball have been trying to get, all the latest and greatest. And sometimes it ain't about that, y'all. It's about the chemistry of how the people work together. You can have a decent team, but if that chemistry between those decent players is like an unbreakable bond, they will go leaps and bounds farther than people who have the best talent and have no chemistry between them. Because you got to know how to play with the people that are around you. Or, in the sense of the coach or the manager, you got to know how to, coach those players and what each fits their own style. And you got to just build that chemistry. And that starts from the ground up. So, long story short, I'd like to see the Mets beat the Dodgers. Astros and Pirates, always going to try and see the Pirates beat the Astros because of that cheating scandal. If you know, you know. Cubs and Nationals, I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to say Cubs. Let's go with the Cubs. All right. Guardians, Yankees. Guardians, obviously. Rangers and Rays. I think the Rays will probably eke out a win, but I would like to see the Rangers win just because same reason as always with the Orioles and the Blue Jays. They're in the conference with the Red Sox. Royals and Cardinals. I'm going to say Cardinals. All right. So now there's also, the Stanley Cup playoffs going on. And last night, the Edmonton Oilers came back and beat the Florida Panthers, which I honestly thought the Florida Panthers had it in the bag. But man, I think the Panthers are going to come back, even though they're playing at Edmonton. I think they're going to come back and win this one. USA, USA, USA. Um, and then I'm sure that's going to be a chant when they come back and play in Florida. Let's see the schedule for that though. However, as of right now, Edmonton leading 1-0. Panthers and Oilers play tomorrow, and then after that game, the Oilers will be at the Panthers for 2 games, and then if Game 5 is needed, Panthers are at the Oilers. If Game 6 is needed, Oilers are at the Panthers. If Game 7 is needed, Panthers are at the Oilers. And today also starts the NBA Finals. I don't really follow it, but for those of you that are listening or watching this on YouTube and Spotify, and you follow NBA, the Indiana Pacers are at the Oklahoma City Thunder today, and that game starts at 8:30 p.m. And I believe that is Eastern. So the schedule for that, as of right now, looks like the Pacers will be at the Thunder today, and then for Game 2, Game 3, and Game 4, Thunders will be at the Pacers, and then Game 5, if needed, Pacers Thunder, and then so on and so forth. Now, also starts the NCAA Super Regionals for college baseball. That's what I'm more interested in, that, and also the current fight that's coming up this weekend with Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili. 2. I'll get to that in a second, y'all. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's just talk with, the Super Regionals right now. So as far as the Super Regionals, so these games that I'm going to list off, they begin June. So you've got Miami at Louisville, number 9 Florida State at number 8 Oregon State. Ooh, that's going to be a good one. Arizona at number 5 North Carolina. I think that'll be a lot better than expected. And number 13 Coastal Carolina at number 4 Auburn. That is going to be a game to watch. Now, these next games that I'm about to list off start Saturday. You've got UTSA, or if you don't know the acronym, University of Texas at San Antonio. They will be at number 15 UCLA. Murray State will be at Duke. West Virginia, Country Roads, at number 6 LSU. That's going to be an interesting one. I think that'll be a decent one. And then number 14 Tennessee at number 3 Arkansas. All right, now for my surf fans listening, y'all probably already know this, but the Lexus Trestles Pro starts June 9th and goes until the 17th. Now we all know for surf competitions, it's based off of conditions with the ocean, the wind, all that good stuff. I honestly really think a contingency for that, and this may be, I don't know, I haven't looked into it too much, but honestly, in my opinion, I think a contingency plan for that surf event should be the wave pool. Let me know if you agree with that or disagree with that in the comments. All right. Now, last but definitely not least, we're looking at the UFC 316 fight card. And these are my predictions, and they'll probably be wrong, but you know what? It never hurts to try. All right. So, starting with the early prelims, we've got lightweight. Quillen Salkid versus Yanal Ashmuz. Both are 8-1. You know what? Ashmuz has in his picture, he's got the bigger beard. Let's go with him. All right. Featherweight bout. And these are the early prelims, y'all. Featherweight bout. Jeka Saragi versus Yuju Sang. Let's go with Saragi. Let's go with that one. Women flyweight. Ariane Lipsky versus Wang Kong. I got Lipsky. All right, now we're looking at the prelims. For the heavyweight, we've got Sergey Spivak versus Waldo Cortez Acosta. I got Spivak. All right, light heavyweight. Azamat Murzakanov versus Brendan Hiberiero. I probably pronounced that wrong. I apologize. I got Murzakanov. Submission. That's my prediction. All right, flyweight. Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van. I got Silva. I think Silva's going to take that. All right, now we are looking at the main card for Dvalishvili versus O'Malley 2. First up in the middleweight division is Kelvin Gastelum versus Joe Pyfer. Oh, the matchmakers did it good on this one. Oh, this is tough, man. This is tough. You know what? I'd like to see Gastelum get back in the win column. Let's do it. I'm going Gastelum. All right, next up is the co-main event with Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison. Ooh, I would like to see Pena retain her title, but at the same time, I think Harrison's judo is just too overwhelming. I think Harrison's gonna upset Pena. I really do. And now for the main event, Rob Wallachvili versus Sean O'Malley. I told a buddy of mine this earlier today. I think the loss O'Malley had in that first loss to Marab change. I really think the mindset he gained from that loss. I would like to see that mindset stay if O'Malley wins. Because, in my opinion, he gained a really good mindset and a lot of perspective from that loss. And I would love to see that continue on if he wins. But I'm going Marab. 49-47. Let me know what you think your fight predictions are going to be down in the comments. All right. So here we are. Now we're looking at what do you cook with and is it harmful? Well, if you're cooking with canola oil, peanut oil, vegetable oil, any kinds of those, that are, if you're buying anything that is, easily accessible in Walmart, Harris Teeter, wherever that's got, canola, vegetable, peanut, sunflower, meal, yeah, that's going to be really harmful. That's not doing you any good. Just research, y'all. You need to figure out what's wrong. Now, if you're cooking with like avocado oil, if you're cooking with olive oil, that's okay, but you got to watch the smoke point on those because if the smoke point gets too high, then it starts to become dangerous. I either use coconut oil or I use beef tallow. That's it. I try to stay away from all olive oil and avocado oil and all this. I try to stay away from it. In today's age, we have lost the art of trying to find information for ourselves. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to Google and go look up the information for yourself and use your critical thinking skills. That's what I want you to do. Now, if, like for instance, I'll give you an example. Like, my wife's Hispanic. So, like, every now and then, her mom will make pupusas, and oh my god, they are so good. She uses vegetable. I'll take that L any day of the week. Now, you can say I'm being hypocritical, but I don't eat it every single day. But certain things like that, you just gotta have to also think for yourself. Thoughts and opinions. So, one thought I've been having recently is why do people make things so complicated? People always, try to make things so complicated and say, oh, well, you're supposed to do this way, or you're supposed to do it that way. Why? Who cares? Like, and oh, you took too long on this. Oh, you took too long on that. Okay. Is there a deadline? Like, where did that deadline come from? Who created it? Why does there have to be a deadline? As long as it gets done, it got done. I don't understand why people make things so complicated. Let me know what you think. But yeah, why do people make things so complicated? It's just, it does not, life is not complicated. It's the people that make it complicated. And on that note, I think we're going to end. Have a great time. If you're on YouTube, well, don't forget to like and subscribe. Comment down below, share. And if you're listening and watching on Spotify, don't forget to share it with your friends as well. All right, I will see y'all later. Ferrell, out.